Just want to welcome everyone this afternoon. Of course, as you know, we're here today to bid farewell to an old friend, and the building, which has been here for 55 years, and it served us very well. Has a lot of great memories, and it's sad in a lot of ways to see it go. In some ways, I'm honestly very glad. Because of in a sense, what it means for progress and what it means for us in the valley. But when I was looking at the advertisement that Dee and Becky and Alice put together, I think it summed it up very well. It says, for many people, both employees and community members, the building holds memories and meaning. Children were born, lives were saved, loved ones were lost, and years of work were performed within these walls. And it's been great. I've been here, I guess, the last 13 years, and really in the time I've been here, the old building has really not been used by and large for patient care very much. Most of that was moved out several years back, and we've reached a point, to be honest with you, it's very difficult in 2010 to perform health care and do things in a building that's 55 years old. But I think it's a great time. It has been great, and probably to me the best thing we'll be able to do is to take this same piece of land and to actually use the same foundation, in a sense, that we've used for 55 years to go back and build our cancer center and the new 3 stories or 4 stories that will go on top of that building. So I think from that standpoint, it really will be great.
Through the years that I've been here, certainly healthcare was different decades ago. The valley was different. The coal mines were active, ranching more so. Tourism was a part of it. Ski sunlight was there, though injuries were different. We had a lot more injuries because the equipment wasn't so good. There was the interstate through Glenwood Canyon, and at that point it was a 2-lane highway. It was not the separated lanes that it is now. So we had different kinds of patients, different kinds of injuries, things like that going on. Also, before DRGs, they didn't control the length of stay of patients in the hospital. Families were known to drop grandma off for a checkup when they were leaving town for the holidays. So they, might be here for a period of time. Or patients were in the hospital a lot longer than they are now. People who had surgery always had to come in the night before surgery. You never actually got to have day surgery where you came to day surgery that day, had your surgery, and went home. Oops. Yeah. So you always were admitted the night before and never got to go home for a few days after, whatever kind of surgery you had. The physical setup was different. There was a nurse's station. One hallway was OB, the other hallway X-ray to surgery, OR. And then the 2 big med-surg units, which were almost always full with the way we did the longer length of stay. And oftentimes people were in beds in the hall or in beds in the chapel, if people remember that would be the way it was. Everybody knew each other that worked here, and everybody worked together to do what needed to be done. And they often knew the patients. They knew the patients' spouses or children, so it was a smaller community both in the hospital and outside of the hospital. With everybody working together, we handled whatever came our way, whether it was everyday stuff or taking care of a coal miner that was injured in a bounce at the mine, taking care of people that were affected by the Rocky Mountain natural gas explosion, the wildfires, any of those sort of things. Or even, I can remember back of a person who survived a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm when every staff member in the hospital helped in surgery. So entirely different time now from what it was then. The idea about it was that we provided patient-centered care then before the names or the designations of what we call it. They're trying to take me out. Yeah. So with everybody working together and knowing each other, we had a real sense of patient-centered care there as a basis, even before the names of what we're calling it now. And as I talked to other mature employees, what the bottom line thing is it was never about the building. The building was not as pretty as the new one. You know, it was pretty ugly. I can remember the Surgical green hallways. When I first started, that was the color of the hallways, and looking like a battleship and all like that. But it wasn't about the building. It was really always about the people. So whether or not the building goes, in those days it was about the people, and it remains about the people.
I'm trying to parallel what Nancy said. You know, the greatest resource is the human resources. It's the staff. It's the people that provided care here. It's not about the buildings. I'm older than the building. I, welcome a reconstruction. But it's such a great thing that the ability of the physicians and the people here have outpaced the physical containment. And there's many board members here today as well as myself. I know Jeff Carlson, Mike Fatter, Steve Vanderhoof. I don't know if there's anybody else here. Paul's on the board, Paul Salmon. And all we do is try to continue to follow the long-range plan that's been set into place a long time ago by the great administration here. And it'd be interesting to see what's in the time capsule. I'd love directions, but I don't think they're there. But I think that because of this community supporting Valley View Hospital, it is what it is today. So thank you very much. This is a large day.
We should be just as proud today of this new cancer center that's going in as we folks in 1954 were when this old cream-colored hospital was put up here. And so I would like to thank and for us to give a big hand to Gary and the rest of the hospital staff that has made this possible.
Thank you, Don. I really appreciate that. Don was talking about the hospital in '55 when it opened. It was in the middle of nowhere. And if you look, there's nothing around. There's nothing anywhere out here. There was my understanding, the dirt road in front of St. Stephen's, and they may have donated part of that land for the road. You actually had a dirt road out in front of the facility, just to get to the hospital. And the pictures, they're really amazing. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to thumb through or to see the book that Jim Nelson wrote it's about 5 years ago. We did it. It was 50 years of caring. And it was just happened to coincide when we opened the 4-story edition, which we did in 2005. And it's really amazing. The picture of Sam Jansen, a lot of you may not remember Sam. Sam was the first CEO of the hospital. And we were very fortunate that the Mennonites at their annual meeting, their annual retreat, they actually had it in Glenwood Springs in 2005. So with a 50-year get-together that we had not only for the hospital, we were able to have the Mennonites in the hospital and have a dinner, and I got an opportunity to not only meet Sam, but to have a picture taken with him that I have in my hospital. I think in the 55 years we've been here, there have been 8 CEOs down through that time, and I'm not sure, Joyce and some of them probably know, I think the first probably 4 or 5, or at least first 3 or 4 were Mennonites, and the hospital had such a truly great foundation, and I think that's the reason that where we're standing today. It really is. And I want to take just a second, because I think history is so terribly important, to who you are. I don't know if you can figure out where you're going if you don't know where you've come from. And just to name when the hospital was founded, we had 16 board of directors. The original board was Harold Parkinson, Charles Stewart, Miss Roger Henderson, J.F. Gregory, C.B. Bell, C.M. Collins, Tom Deaver, L.C. Finley, C.L. Hubbard, J.J. Tuntley, Pete Mativi, who was actually here for our 50th year anniversary also, Harold Pabst, Robert Perry, Reverend W.O. Richards, Churchill Shoemate, and Jess Weaver. I think that Nancy said it best, and I know anybody that's been here that's heard me before knows that this is my belief. A hospital, honest to goodness, it is not bricks and mortar. A hospital is people, it's relationships. It's all our doctors and nurses and physical therapists and pharmacists and housekeepers and dietitians and all of the people in the community. And when you go back looking, that money, that $340,000, it didn't just come from Glenwood Springs. That money came from Carbondale, Basalt, Aspen, Newcastle, Silt, Rifle, Eagle Gypsum, and of course Glenwood was the center. And I want somebody standing here 55 years from now looking at the hospital, and it's not so much the building, it's the fact I want us to be such an integral part of this community that we're needed as much 55 years from now as we are now, as we were 55 years ago. Once again, thank you for coming, and I want to take, Don and I just take a minute. I think it's pretty great. They said that we had this old time capsule, and it was behind the cornerstone in the building. But then we really couldn't get anybody to find. So yeah, I think there was one, but no, I'm not sure if there was. And then somebody said, no, I know there was, and whatever. So, but anyway, we thought it would be a great opportunity to go into the time capsule. There we go.
There's some coins.
There is. There may be $1 in here. You know, see, you think about it, 55 years ago, those guys knew we were going to need some money to help build this new one, I'm telling you.
Here, pull that out.
Yeah, they had a business card, Maurice Thomas, built with brick, the Thomas boys, Canyon City.
The newspaper is a Glenwood Post, Thursday, August 11th, 1955. Valley View Hospital dedication and open house to be held at Glenwood. Sunday, August 14th. There's some pictures of the construction and of the new building.
I don't just thank you for today. I thank you for the 55 years and for all the support and for the things you've done for us. So thank you so much.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you. What a glorious Colorado day, huh? We're all gathered here for a celebration. This is the groundbreaking for the Cancer Center, and what a great thing that Cancer Center will be for this community. From the humble beginnings of Valley View Hospital in 1955, this hospital has grown up with the community and has kept the needs of the community at heart, and at the same time kept the values that were established in 1955 the same, which is patient-centered care and the highest clinical quality we could provide. Today, watching the Chilean miners being pulled to be rescued, I thought of some parallels with this cancer center, and certainly not on a global level, but if you're an individual with cancer, this center will be that vessel that gives you that hope and brings you back that life and gives you back that survival. So it's a wonderful thing. And the key component to this new cancer center, because we've been doing cancer treatment at Valley View Hospital, which many of you know, but we've been doing chemotherapy and surgery, which happens in some cancer situations, but we'll be able to do radiation therapy here. That's a huge component, a huge piece. Probably everybody in this audience knows someone who's driven to Grand Junction, or you've driven them to Grand Junction to get that piece of their treatment. And now they can just be here. They can be in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. And that's a wonderful component of this new treatment center, besides being a holistic center. I will tell you that there's many people that have been involved in this process, and you'll hear from many of them today. But there's one common belief with this group of people, and many of you are here, and everybody here shares this belief, that vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision is merely a waste of time, but vision with action changes the world. and we're changing the world, and we're particularly changing this community.
Thank you for being here, and it really is a monumental day for us with the groundbreaking for the Cancer Center. And as I was thinking back, you know, you have to kind of close your eyes and in a sense think back 56 years ago to 1954, and when they had the ribbon cutting for this facility that we have right here today. And you think about it, as excited as I am, I can't imagine what was going through their mind back then when they were having this fantastic, at the time, state-of-the-art hospital. And just with the building of this hospital, what it meant in the ability to attract new doctors and nurses and caregivers into the community. And it really was a regional hospital when it was built, and it was raised with regional money. There was money from all around this area that came in to build this hospital. So it really is a tremendous undertaking. And you know, when you think, we've been actually delivering chemotherapy and had a cancer program for some 20 plus years at the hospital, and we've had the oncologists and the nurses and the caregivers and with a partnership with the University of Colorado for all of those years. But this is really the culmination in when you add the radiation piece that we'll be able to do with the new center. Then you actually have truly a comprehensive cancer center. If I had to say, really give you a vision, it's more of our ideas in a sense to take the best of facilities and the best of treatment and the best of technology and marry that with a holistic healing environment that will support each and every patient that comes through the facility.
The history of the hospital is rooted in the community, and so is this cancer campaign. Valley View Hospital Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the hospital, and building relationships and securing funds for the enhancement of excellence in health care at Valley View Hospital is very important to us. Today, the Valley View Hospital Foundation is very proud to announce the campaign to raise $7 million for the Cancer Center.
As Mary has just shared with you, the foundation will be working to raise $7 million to support our new Cancer Center. And it is my honor to announce that Connie and Jim Calloway and Bob Young will lead this campaign with a commitment of $4 million. These gifts truly set the stage for not only our campaign, but they honestly demonstrate the value of our Cancer Center to this community and the role that Valley View Hospital will have in providing comprehensive cancer care to us all. We couldn't be more proud to have the Callaways and Bob part of this project. And I would like to invite Jim now up to say a few words.
I was just going to come up and say that Connie and I are honored and humbled to be involved with this great thing for the community. But I was asked to tell in a very brief time a little bit about my history that brought me into being interested in philanthropy. I started from scratch when I was a young man and built a fairly successful oil and gas company in Houston, where I lived most of my career. And when I got to be about 40, I was living in a big house that Texas oil men like to live in, and had my private airplane and smoked cigarettes and drank scotch. And I decided that after thinking about it, that was not near as much fun as I thought it was going to be all those years I was working. So I sat back and gave some thought about what my life was all about. Being an entrepreneur, a fairly successful entrepreneur, still working on things right now. And I decided that to be a happy entrepreneur, I would be better off to do that by living modestly and giving what I make to the common good. And that's what I've been doing ever since then. For the last 40 years. I'm 80 now. And the more I do that, the happier I get, and the more eccentric I get. I live in a modest house. I drive a little car. I buy my clothes at Walmart, and my sons say, "Yes, and Dad, it looks like it." But actually, that's not true. I also, once or twice every year or so at least, shop at Penny's, because Penny's sells sport coats, and Walmart doesn't sell sport coats. But I have loved the last half of my life, and Connie shares this with me entirely, that to be an entrepreneur, as Bob Young and I both are, and to live modestly so we can give to the common good and to cherish all living creatures is really the way to live. So it is an honor for us to be involved in this great thing. I love working with Gary. I love working with all of the staff, the doctors. I like the new cafeteria. That's a dining destination, that new cafeteria. And so thank you very much, really, for giving us the opportunity. I have three great loves around here. That's the Care Animal Shelter, as many of you know. I love the critters. I love CMC. I got 14 kids on scholarship up there this year. I'm having lunch with them next week, and I'm going to tell them same thing I've told you. The kids, you may not be a big successful entrepreneur, but live modestly so you can have something left over to give to the common good, and you'll live a happier life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Bob. Now to introduce Bob Young to say a few words as well.
Thank you. Like Jim, I feel that one of the greatest gifts any of us can have is the ability to make a profound difference in the life of another. And as I've been trying to do that these past 35 or 40 years, first with Alpine Banks, then later with our own family foundation, I find it really does work. It pays dividends, and I feel so blessed to be able to be some part in this campaign. Especially so because about 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, with lymphoma, and I was in Miami at the time, and I received some treatment there, and it was effective, and it seemed to get the job done, and I was quite pleased. But it was very difficult and trying, where I was living in the Keys in the winter time at that time, and to go 50 or 60 miles round trip every day for treatment wasn't a lot of fun. Last year I repeated that, only this time not with lymphoma but with radiation, and the same thing. And I tell you, it's great when you can do that at home. And I thought every day of my 2+ months of going up the Florida Turnpike every day to receive the radiation at South Baptist Hospital, what a blessing it would be to have that kind of ability, that kind of treatment here. And now very shortly it's going to be there. And I think the good news is, as far as I know, I am cured. I have a mother that's 100 years old and still going strong, and I aspire to follow her to some degree, as long as I can. And but I just feel like this is the opportunity that I've been waiting for, to put my money where my mouth was, and to make things happen. And so you've got a great head start. It sounds like with 4 or 5 million already. Maybe you have more, Stacy. you're going to make the 7 million, and I'm glad to hear the community's behind this. So thanks for all you do. Thank you, Jenny, my sweetheart, who spent the last years on the highway every day with me to go to my treatments, and that's the one thing that you just can't replace, is to have somebody from a family or somebody you're close to go there every day and be with you and support you. And I know that it's the kind of treatment that this hospital gives. That's the nature of Plaintree and what they stand for, and so I hope I'm doing this for somebody else besides myself, but if I have to use it, I know where I'll be. Thanks.
Thank you both. So to recognize these tremendous gifts from the Callaways and Bob, we will be naming Valley View's new cancer center the Callaway and Young Cancer Center. As Bob mentioned, we are very fortunate to have received some also tremendously generous gifts from members of the community during this silent phase of our campaign. So as of today, our fundraising campaign stands at $6.2 million. Very, very generous contributions from so many people in this community. Thank you all. RJ Griffin, HFR, Rich and Holly Glazier, just to name a few. These are tremendous leaders in our community. We are so proud to have your support and your investment. And we are so proud to now carry this campaign forward and to invite all of you, your friends and your neighbors, to participate with us in seeing comprehensive cancer care come to the Roaring Fork Valley, to see the addition of radiation therapy, to see Valley View's commitment to patient-centered care continued through the addition of a boutique and a salon to support our cancer patients, space for yoga and therapy support groups. This is going to be our cancer center, and we are so excited to invite you all today to be a part of it. Thank you. So now for the fun part. We would like to have our official shovel ceremony on this beautiful piece of lawn right here. I'd like to ask Gary Brewer, Jan Schugert, Jim and Connie Callaway to come up, Bob Young, Dr. Rivera, our wonderful representatives, Tracy and Mike from the county, and Russell from the city, please.